Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's really nice to see you. Today I just got this in the mail and I wanted to open it with you all on camera. I do apologize for my voice. I am a little bit under the weather. I have my chamomile tea here. So without further ado, let's just hop right in. The only thing that I have done is taken the label off, but I have not opened it yet. So maybe from the tape used here, you might be able to tell that this is the Anthropologist Tarot. Comes with this really nice card, thank you card. Comes with a sticker. I have the King of Pentacles and some teeny tiny little crystals, which are very cute. King of Pentacles is definitely my energy, so very fitting. And then we have the deck here, which is wrapped in tissue paper, sealed with a sticker, very nicely wrapped. Okay, and we have the deck here. Very nice. It says here on the back, the Anthropologist Tarot, imbued with potent iconography and symbols sampled from thousands of years of human history, the Anthropologist Tarot deck is a powerful tool for contemplation and discovery, divination, and manifestation. It has 78 cards, a little guidebook, and instructions for tarot reading styles. Really interesting. Move those aside. So before we hop in, I wanted to read a little bit more about this deck. I saw this originally featured on Catomancy Tarot, Janaki here on YouTube, and Lumeria Star. She featured this in one of her videos, and I watched Janaki's video first, and I was really impressed with the style. I think the thing that let me down, and I did comment this on her video, is if it's an anthropologist deck or a theme, I feel like the guidebook should be more substantive or have more to it. But I want to read a little bit from the creator's website on what it says. And this deck is by Michael Burke. He is an artist. He has done many different things. He's worked for major brands. He's very creative. I would say that his style is very colorful, very loud, lots of collaging, digital and otherwise. So for him to create a deck like this makes perfect sense. Anyway, his website says the illustrations in the deck were created by combining all manner of imagery and textures from a collection of vintage paper ephemera along with material from open source museum archives. These disparate fragments were digitally manipulated and layered to create this novel and unique vision of the 78 cards of the traditional tarot. The source materials come from a variety of cultures around the world across thousands of years of human history. Each piece comes powerfully charged with its own symbolism and significance, which is now remixed to create new meaning for current-day seekers. No AI programs were used to create the images in this deck. They were all painstakingly created by the human artist. It goes on to say that though the imagery on the cards may seem unfamiliar, careful attention has been paid to honoring the essential meaning of traditional illustrations in a new way apt for our modern times. For those familiar with artist-designed tarot decks, this deck sits somewhere between traditional deck and a pip deck. Each card has a unique illustration filled with symbology and nuance. However, the suit cards still feature the appropriate number of suit symbols. This presents seasoned readers with the opportunity to explore the tarot canon in a new way, but still maintains clarity and ease of use for beginners. In the tarot tradition, each of the 4 suits are tied to one of the 4 elements: water, air, fire, and earth. To honor this concept, each suit of the cards in the Anthropologist Tarot has been assigned a visual theme to tie the cards back to the elements they represent. Cups card is water, contain aquatic life, like fish, shells, and corals. Swords, or the air suit, contain flying creatures, birds, butterflies, insects. The wands, fire, have heat-loving reptilian creatures like snakes and lizards, and the pentacles, or earth suit, have flowers and foliage. Additionally, rather than sticking to consistent iconography to represent the 4 suits, they are also represented in a variety of ways. Wands, traditionally visualized as wooden staffs, are here represented by things like animal bones or tree branches. Pentacles, tied to ego and earthly desires, are visualized through human hands. Cups, usually represented with golden chalices, can be as ornate as nautilus shell goblet or as simple as a teacup. And swords can be daggers, scimitars, or medieval rapiers. The deeper you study the imagery of the deck, the more details you will find. So it's almost like a search and find book in a way. So the digital layering, which I believe he maybe has used photographs of historical images and digitally collaged them, I think is perfect for this type of deck. I really liked that he did disclose that there's no AI in the use of this. He also disclosed that it's between traditional pictorial RWS and a pip deck. I think that's very important for not only creators but also publishing companies to start disclosing, because it can be quite frustrating when we see a couple of images and they're only majors, and guaranteed majors are very much illustrated or more fully drawn out. So to know that this sits somewhere in between, I think is very helpful for people to know whether or not they would be more drawn to it or not. I really liked that he went into more detail on his website. You can find this at theanthropologisttarot.com. I believe it is still available. He does also have an Etsy shop, so you can order there as well. I don't know if online on his website it takes you to the Etsy, but he is out of California, so just keep that in mind when ordering. I'm all the way on the East Coast, and this came in a matter of like 3 or 4 days, which is really fast. Usually when I'm placing an order and they're on the West Coast, I don't expect it for 1 or 2 weeks at least. So this came really fast. It was packaged beautifully, as you saw. So let's crack open this outer shrink wrap. And I highly encourage you to go to Michael Burke's website. Basically, it's his resume of all the cool things he's worked on, just so you can get a sense of his art outside of the context of tarot. From reading a few things and how he went about compiling this deck, it does lead me to believe that he has some sort of knowledge or background in tarot, which is not always needed, but is helpful. Here we have the inside of the box. It's a nice magnetic. And here, very teeny tiny, it says, "Seek and you shall find." Got the moon phases here. Anthropologist Tarot there on the side. And again, on the inside of the box. So, very nice box. It's very compact. Everything sits in there nicely. I like that. I like that it's not bound. There's no belly band or outer shrink wrap. I know a lot of creators or publishers do that to ensure that it's never been opened, but I mean, I would rather save the plastic. These are the delicious backs. I love them. I think they're trippy, and I think black and white is fitting because I believe the face of the cards are very bold and colorful. So before we hop into that, let's just take a look at this guidebook here. It is just a staple bound book, and it's very teeny tiny. Just to know, if you have trouble seeing tiny font, you will have trouble seeing this. I have a magnifying glass, so it can help me, although I can see this. But again, like I said, this doesn't provide any other context as to what he used, what are the historical things he used in this, unless you yourself recognize them because you're more well versed in that. You don't really know. It has 3 keywords for upright and 3 keywords for reversed, and it looks to be, yeah, it's the same for the minors. So that is a little booklet. Oh, let's check out the back here. He has some spreads, so classic Celtic cross, decision making spread, which I always appreciate. 3 card spreads here. That's the end. So what really drew me initially to this deck was the use of red. I am really finding myself attracted to the red family of colors recently. I think I had mentioned that in a video before, that red has never been ever on my radar. I've always been blue greens, and then it did switch kind of more in adulthood. I've really been liking orange. That's my favorite color. And in the beginning of 2024, I found myself being drawn to red. Although it wasn't this bright red I was drawn to, it was like a deeper, all I can think of is like blood red. But I saw this and the use of all its red. I don't think that a lot of decks use red. I was debating between this and because of the Mars Power Tarot by Charlie Quintero, I didn't want it to compete with that spot, but I couldn't resist. The fact that it was between Pip and more pictorial really piqued my interest because I'm trying to go into that space, like not relying so much on pictorial but still needing it there a little bit. The size is really nice. So it's about the same height top to bottom, but width-wise it's a little bit thinner. So for people who have smaller hands like myself, or who have trouble with motor skills in their hand or motion, I think this is a really nice size deck. It is a thinner cardstock. It is very flexible. It's maybe, I wouldn't call it gloss, but it is definitely a satin. There's some slip to it. It is not edged, but I really like how the edges here from the backs kind of spill over. So without further ado and any more rambling, let's flip through this deck. We have our Fool. I guess to disclose, yes, there is nudity in this, but if you're watching my channel, I have decks that showcase the human body in its natural state, and I don't have any issue with that, but just so you know, there is nudity featured in this, and he does disclose that somewhere. I can't remember if it is his website or the Tarot's website, but it does state that somewhere. Magician. I do like how the font is different, laid out differently, but what brings it together is we have a very slim border, and the image goes outside of the border, which I like. I like how artists, when they choose to have a border, they incorporate it into the image rather than having it condensed into it. The number location does change from card to card, so just note that if you are a beginner, but it is there. Ooh, High Priestess. Yeah, I love this a lot. This is a great High Priestess card. The Empress. Emperor. The Hierophant. And I know I mentioned before how the guidebook is pretty minimal, and I would have liked to have more because, you know, anthropology, I don't know, I just equate that with more and like explanations, but I think there is something to be said with letting it be up for your own interpretation. Like, you can dig into the symbolism, you can do the research. I don't mind doing that at all, but as he states on the website, it's supposed to be a deck that, this is a great hermit, and I like this wheel. I like how it's a little bit different, but it's still got that circular, and it's made up of all different things. But as I was saying, I think if you're trying to run the gamut between like a professional seasoned reader and a beginner, then that needs more flow into the guidebook as well. I think keywords are helpful when you are starting out, but I don't know, I think you need more. So I wouldn't say that this is the guidebook to follow and have on hand as like a real study tool as you dive in. But if you want to make flashcards, I think it's really handy because it has the keywords there. The Star is one of my favorite cards in any deck, and I really like this one. I like that we don't have a face. We're missing an arm and a leg. Kind of ties back to that tower moment, right? Kind of just coming out of the ashes. But she's bronzed. Her figure is bronze. I don't know. This is beautiful to me. It's got a lot of personality. If you don't like a lot of color or in your face color, then I don't know, this might not be the deck for you. But upon looking at it, oh, look at the hair right there. And some fruit. Upon looking at it in person, oh gosh, I love the world. I like that a lot. And we're starting with cups, but looking at it, I don't feel overwhelmed per se. I think that Michael Burke has a really good eye for color and how to use that color, showcase that color, what's too much, what's too little. His balance is really, really good. Definitely more pippish, but again, there's texture, there's the symbols that are there. This is a lot of fun. I don't know why I let the guidebook dictate. That's what put me off first, is when Janaki did her flip through. I was like, gosh, I love this so much. It's right up my alley in terms of its collage. It's got a lot of color. The artist understands how to use color. The backs, I think, are fabulous. It is, now holding it in my hand, I couldn't tell when watching a video, but it is a perfect size for my little tiny hands. So it had everything going for it, and then kind of felt like a hard stop when when Janaki featured the guidebook. Because I know Janaki is getting her degree or her PhD in anthropology, and she's working through her thesis right now. So I was, I don't know, I feel like I was let down by the guidebook. I feel like if Janaki were to make her own deck, which, just putting it out there, I know she's already incredibly busy, but I feel like she would put more detail into her guidebook. Because as a student, you know, that's the world of academia. Not saying it has to be like some huge brick of a book that it could be like sold separately itself, but I was just really wanting more. But what ended up kind of erasing that is I have nothing like this really in my collection, and it appealed to me. I guess I haven't really been paying attention, but it looks like for the minors, the whatever number is on the border too, which I like. But I don't know, if everything else lines up and the one thing, if it could be anything that I would want to not like be perfect, it would be the guidebook. Here's the sticker I got. Like the cardstock, the images, they're wonderful. So if anything, maybe I would want to be more let down in the guidebook than anything else, because I can always set that aside and use another book to reference, or like I mentioned, looking up the different symbols yourself and kind of making your own tarot study of this deck, going deep in. It's interesting because we usually see the Six of Swords as in the water, traveling somewhere, moving away from something. And here we see this bird that's taking the swords with them to maybe somewhere new. And that's wonderful. Like, you can kind of make up your own stories. And I think that's what the artist was really looking to do is, yes, there are cultural and important figures or historical artifacts or figures used in this, but they're compiled in such a way where you can use your own knowledge and your own experiences to create your own meanings and your own stories of each card. Ooh, time, yes. For the Nine of Swords, and anxiety. Yeah. So in this deck, you start off, you go from king down to page, just as it's in order out of the box. Praying mantis, maybe? Is that? Sorry if my lighting has changed a bit. It is a very rainy, overcast day, and the density of the clouds has changed. This almost reminds me of, like, some of the images. It almost could be a good pair for the Death Doula, which maybe I'll bring that out at the end and we can take a look. But the composition and the colors and some of the, like, fading, the transparency. Ooh, what a great Queen of Wands. And we have our page. So first I want to just give this a good shuffle so you can get a feel for how it sounds and maybe how it will shuffle. We'll ask the deck for a card to read from the guidebook, and then we'll maybe do a little bit of pairing. I'm not sure. Very flexible, very effortless, and easy to riffle shuffle. I'm barely having to put any effort into, like, bending the cards. They're just kind of doing it themselves, which is nice. We have two that popped out here. We have the Hermit and the Six of Wands. And thank you, deck, because I always like to see the difference between, like, a major and a minor. So let's go to the Hermit. So we get a little thumbnail of the card, which is nice. And it says, the Hermit, upright, solitude, soul searching and meditation, wisdom, reversed. Isolation, loneliness, refusing guidance. Ooh, okay. So they pack a little bit of a punch. So Cups, I think Wands was the last. Nope, Swords. Wands. Six of Wands. Upright is victory, recognition, validation, pride and glory. And reversed is bruised ego, public humiliation, overconfidence. Let's bring out the Death Doula. Ooh, okay. Off the jump, we have Hermit, our Six of Wands with regeneration. The Hierophant and Death with cleanse. The World, Ten of Swords with pleasure. Interesting. Six of Pentacles and Ace of Cups with Abyssal Plane. Nine of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune, positioning. Ooh. Yeah, ooh, that's a good one. I like that. A lot to dig into there. Nine of Cups, Page of Swords, and Balance. The Lovers and the Queen of Swords with beauty and death. Oh, yeah, I like this combination. I think aesthetically it works. This is a bit more muted in its collage, so it gives this space to be a little bit more crazy in its coloring, but they do work visually, in my opinion, and the messaging seems to be pretty spot on. A lot to dig into. Let's try digital collage deck. This might be a little too much visually, but we'll see. Four of Wands, the Moon, and Queen of Coins. Seven of Cups, Eight of Swords, Ace of Wands. Eight of Cups, Nine of Cups, and Six of Swords. I mean, this is pretty congruous here, don't you think? Temperance, Ten of Coins, Two of Wands. I feel like visually these are going together better than I expected. Here's the backs together. I'm liking that. I think I would pair these. Okay, now let's try this one, the Fountain Tarot. I just want to see, because this plays with like a lot of light, and that's what this is really known for. I think that this one is helping to calm down the boldness of this one, but in a way that helps you take a breath, right? Ooh, this is a good combination here. This, I think, is definitely my favorite Nine of Swords ever. I've decided. Okay. One more here. I think that there's something here. Definitely something here. You know, another deck that I feel like would go really, really, really well with this that I don't have is the Ritual Tarot. And this image reminded me because she has in that deck like a lot of backgrounds with just like, you know, a figure or something even like this. So I think aesthetic wise that would match really well. It is a darker toned deck, like there's a lot of dark colors, so I think that would also bring down like some of the vibrancy and the busyness of this deck. Let's try another collage. I have Daydreaming and Situ. Okay, Knight of Swords, Three of Cups, and the Eight of Wands. Ace of Pentacles. By the way, this is brilliant. King of Wands. Ooh, and the Emperor. Okay. Interesting. Three of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, and the Moon. What's the practical side of the Moon? Ten of Wands, Five of Swords, and the Five of Wands. Interesting. I don't know. I mean, aesthetically, I don't know. I don't dislike it. It's not maybe my favorite, but I'm picking up a lot of messages from this combination, so I think I would use those together. And then let's end this combination exploration with another oracle. The good old mystical shaman. High Priestess, Page of Pentacles, the Beloved. Chariot, Empress, Mystical Shaman. Star, and the Four of Pentacles with the Owl. Two of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, Pachamama. The Emperor, Ten of Cups, and Middle Worlds. I feel like these cards match with colors pretty well. Greens and yellows and oranges. Ace of Wands, Five of Pentacles, and Soul Retrieval. I'm not getting anything off the jump I don't know, I think I would have to spend some time with this pairing to see if they really vibed, but I just was curious. Let me gather. I'll lace them out so you can see how they would work together. I don't think they look bad in a larger reading. I think at that point, maybe it could get overwhelming for some. But I like this deck a lot. I'm really glad that I didn't let the guidebook or the lack thereof ultimately keep me from purchasing this. I don't know why, although it's super colorful, it does feel like more of like winter to me. I don't know why I'm picking that up. Maybe it's like the saturation of the colors are deeper. I don't know. I'm just going on what my gut says, that it feels like wintry to me. But as many of you know, as I keep repeating, I don't prescribe myself to working with certain decks at certain times. Like overall, I just kind of grab them and use them when I want to. But if you really liked this deck, give me a thumbs up so I know. Again, you can find this deck still available, theanthropologisttarot.com, or you can visit Michael Burke, the artist. I would highly recommend doing that. Again, thank you to Jonaki and Lumeria Star, who featured these on their channel and really piqued my interest, and ultimately they made me buy it, so I can't thank them enough for that. And in all sincerity, no sarcasm on that, I'm really glad that I have this in my collection. I feel like I can get a lot of use out of it, and I really enjoy making videos, sharing all these wonderful decks that I have in my collection and how I work with them. And if you are enjoying the content I'm making, the decks that I have, if you like my personality, if you like my voice when it's not under the weather and sick, anything, if you feel so inclined, I do have a buy me a coffee link in the description. Any bit helps, and it will 100% go right back into this channel to improve things, or get more decks to review and work with. I'm so humbled to even be here and that people are watching my content and my videos and interacting with me. That is what I set out to do in having a YouTube. I just wanted a community, creating a place where I feel like I truly belong. All my life I've been trying to fit into other categories, other, I don't know, groups, and I realized that I don't think that's ever going to fully happen. So why not just create my own? And I've met some wonderful people so far. I love conversing with you in the comments. I just love that people are even watching my videos. I can't even believe that. Little old me here, just going through my decks, my collection, and my practice and how I use them, and learning along the way, because I am no expert. I'm figuring things out as I go and just sharing my love of tarot and oracle and all things related with you on that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and as always, until next time, see you around.